I'm Nancy Beauvoir, and I'm the director of the San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles. And I've been proud to be director during this 40th anniversary year, 2017.
It's probably the most fun comments we find when people walk into our museum here. They'll say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know this beautiful place existed. Where has it been?" And we get to tell them our history, that we're going to be celebrating 40 years of being present in this community.
I was president of the Santa Clara Valley Quilt Association when we founded the museum, and I became the first director because I volunteered. No one else volunteered. But we were all volunteers back then, so we were able to open the museum on a shoestring, don't you think?
Less than that. We had nothing. Yeah. Sylvia and I founded the Santa Clara Valley Quilt Association with some friends from a quilt group. And at one meeting of our small quilt group, Sylvia said, I think we should open a museum. And my reaction after all the work that we had done and finally relaxing and doing quilting, my reaction was, you've got to be crazy. And so from that point on, though, she did go to the association and suggest to them that we open a museum.
We're the first quilt museum in the United States 40 years ago. The idea of some local people who had quilts that they didn't want to have moldering in a closet.
I mean, I'm always interested in keeping the history of things. So I think museums are very important because people later on need to understand how things evolved and that. And so protect history as well as show off the new, what's new. So a museum.
Well, one misconception I always like to debunk is that idea that we are just your grandmother's quilts. The people who come here for the first time are always surprised by what they see. And most of our regular visitors continue to be surprised by what we are exhibiting.
We do exhibit quilts, and quilts are a big part of who we are. But we also exhibit all sorts of other textiles. We have done clothing exhibitions, wedding dresses. We've done sculptural fiber art. We've done installation art. And so we're much more than just a quilt museum.
Its importance is the idea of enlarging the minds of people who come in. They're exposed to something new every day. We have something going on that's unique. And when they come in and they can say, well, oh yeah, I remember my grandmother used to make those, but they're nothing like this.
Textiles are art. Textiles are history. Textiles are culture. And I don't think there's a person alive who isn't interested in one of those in some form.
Well, textiles touch people's lives in all kinds of ways. We wear them, we put drapes on our walls. It's just fabric is everywhere in every person, whether they really realize that or not.
Well, I'm hoping for a whole lot more excellent exhibitions, and with the group we have running it now, both the paid staff and the volunteers, I am confident that will happen. And some of them will be edgy, and some of them will be comfortable for viewers, but you can't learn without having a variety of objects available.
I'd like to see the museum become a cutting-edge art museum that really does two things. One, that fosters the dialogue and involves the community in discussion of important social issues, and also which educates the community about textiles, about textile art, the idea that textiles can be art.
There's a certain feeling when you put on, whether it's a skirt, a dress, a pair of pants, a blouse, that brings about some kind of feeling in you, just as people, when they view all the beautiful quilts here, will be touched somehow, perhaps in a way that they haven't been in touch with in the past.
So what makes this particular museum unique? I think it's the passion of the people involved. And I think that we're well on our way to becoming a really important part of the quilt and textile world, not only in the United States, but also around the world. Our name is getting out there, and I think we are uniquely positioned to move forward on that kind of an idea.
I think the future looks bright. In talking with artists, many of our artists in residence, we're seeing now that art students and artists are not separating fine art from what was formerly known as a craft. They are looking for the right medium to tell the story or to say what they want to say, and it doesn't matter if it's fiber, textile, wood, glass. They're combining those two elements to tell the story they want to tell. So I think the future looks very bright for the fiber art, and we will continue to show leading edge artists who are doing new work and new exciting things in fiber art, quilts, and textiles.